Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator is my favorite album ever, and here's why. First off, let me set the scene for everyone. It was summer 2021. I was a recent college graduate with a business degree, working two manual labor intensive jobs, trying to save up to do something incredibly stupid, which was to move to LA and pursue music. But at the same time, it was the first time I really felt like I was, working towards a goal that I truly cared about and a goal that I'm still chasing to this day. It was around this time I was listening to the widest range of music I ever had in my whole life. I think I was trying to find what I liked, why I liked it more importantly, and I started to get attached to certain artists who I really felt had strong discographies, music that kind of meant something. This was artists like Mac Miller, Kendrick Lamar, Kaytranada, Flume, Porter Robinson, and different artists across hip-hop and electronic music, which were really my two focuses at that time. Around here, I really, really fell into Tyler, the Creator, who I felt was one of the more unique voices and kind of genre bending in a way, especially with Igor. I felt I'd never heard anything like that project before. He had my attention around the summer 2021 era, right in time for Call Me and You Get Lost. Sorry, Call Me If You Get Lost. With the current structure of the music industry, I think a extensive, well thought out, and cohesive rollout of an album is really, really rare. You see with most smaller artists, the plan is singles until you can get something to pop. And then when it does pop, you can maybe leverage that into an album or something that gains traction. But with the attention spans currently, it's not viable for smaller artists to spend all this money and time in a rollout for something that nobody may listen to. And for bigger artists, I think a lot of it is kind of baked in now. It's if they drop an album, people will listen to it. They're going to pick their songs. They're going to put them on the playlist, and then it's done. And so for them, it's just, you put the album cover out, date, and it's over. Drake could do that to the end of time. He could do album cover, date, hundreds of millions of listens. And no one can or should blame him for that, because why would he do anything differently? The machine works, don't fight it. But this is not the case for Tyler. And I think it is shown more in Call Me If You Get Lost than any of his previous projects. As you look at his rollout, everything leading up to it really felt like it was building to a world. It was adding to some world, this world that he was creating for you to listen to and receive this album in. He did, in 10 days, it was 4 videos, all with a purpose. Every single one of them sort of like, the first video wasn't even a song. It wasn't a music video. It was him making out with a girl, holding her dog, which is sick, and then driving off, and, Taco walks up and is like, who the fuck was that?
Who the fuck was that?
No one.
And so each of these videos had a purpose, but I think the one standout by a mile was the What's Your Name video. The opening drone shot, the luggage, the bicycles in the background, just greenery, blue colors, his little leopard vest and everything, like the fits, everything felt like it was a world that didn't exist. Like that doesn't exist in reality. It only exists in this album that Tyler made. And I think, the landscape, color palette, and the feeling of he's chasing this girl. The girl goes back to her man's table with the croissant. I think that all sort of encapsulated what Call Me If You Get Lost is before we even knew or heard the album. Call Me If You Get Lost it's a flex. You saw a lot of post-Igor, Tyler being unhappy with his album being lumped into hip-hop and rap, and just speaking on the urban category in general, and how, because of how he looks, this project that really could be assigned to a different number of genres was automatically put in this hip hop and rap category. And I feel like, in a way, this album was like, hey, if you want to put me here, I'm going to show you that I can do it better than anybody else. And I think he succeeded. I think there's very few albums in the last 5 years that are more powerful and just quality than Call Me If You Get Lost. It shows Tyler being the most confident and flaunting his wealth, luxury, everything that he has his finger on now more than ever before. I think the confidence side of this is really exemplified in tracks like Corso, Lumberjack, and Juggernaut, which are the production super in your face, just heavy drums, 808s. A lot of the lyrics are more superficial, like talking about products, things that he owns, places that he's been. Talked about going to Cannes, like that's an elite thing that cool people do. So these songs were him just showing off, and the culmination and pinnacle of that was on Hot Wind Blows. Just the instrumental itself sounds rich, not rich in filled with so many different tones, like rich in value. It sounds like it is worth a lot of money. And I think that was the intention with the drama intro and outro, talking about being on a yacht, like we're still on the yacht. This isn't a one-day thing. We're still on the yacht. And then Tyler killed the verse. But I think the highlight of this, and one of the highlights of the whole project, in my opinion, was Lil Wayne's verse. I've never heard anything like this in my life. It's the craziest first listen I've ever had. And I remember where I was when I listened to it. I was driving home from my job at Novak's Tavern and Grill, shout out, in downtown Columbus, Ohio. It was 1:30 in the morning, and I'm in my car, and Wayne just goes in, and I'm losing my shit. I'm by myself, and I'm like fucking slamming on the top of the steering wheel like an idiot. But it was crazy. It's one of my favorite verses that I can remember in recent history, and, you know, Lil Wayne is underappreciated, and I'll leave it at that. You know, the other side of this project is more storytelling and romantic productions, like What's Your Name, Sweet, I Thought You Wanted to Dance, and Wilshire. These tracks address the other side of the album, the side about him meeting a girl who's with a man already, and, you know, how he tried to win her over and ultimately did not succeed. You know, he is in a better place than he's ever been and more confident than he's ever been, but there's that one thing that he's missing, and it's this girl. At the end of Wilshire, Tyler sort of accepts this in a way. He accepts that he lost out on this girl and that, you know, she chose to go with someone else. I think it can be taken a number of different ways, but that's kind of how I see it. I think he's closing this chapter. He says that actually at the end of Wilshire, like, you know, this book is, this is like a chapter in the book that is my life. This chapter's over, we're moving forward, and Safari, I think, shows that. Safari is like this grand strings, like horns kind of in the background, and Safari doesn't mention the girl at all. It's the last song on the original iteration of the album, and it does not even mention the girl one time. It's just talking about how, you know, we're still traveling. I'm going to bring my nephews to different countries and stuff, and I think Safari was him saying, I'm okay. Ultimately, I failed, and life keeps going.
You know, you're seething and angry, and no one listens to that album. These arena tours that are selling out says different.
For most albums, I think this is where the story ends. The music is released, people listen to it, they pick their songs, they put it on the playlist, everything is forgotten. There's a couple nerds like me and some of my friends who will listen to it and like, oh, well, blah, 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 this means this, but most people don't think about that stuff. I didn't think about it before I started really working on music. Like, I would just pick songs that I liked, and then that was it. But once again, like, this was not the case for Tyler. I just want to highlight some things that, let's call the last 2 years from album release to right now. Let's call it the Call Me If You Get Lost era. And I made a list of some things that have come out since the album came out 2 years ago that I feel are a part of the Call Me If You Get Lost world. So some of the products that have come out since Call Me If You Get Lost are French Waltz perfume, luggage, passport holder, silk ties, hair pick, knit sweaters, sunglasses, 8 different kinds of nail polish, a collab with Converse, music for Louis Vuitton Paris Fashion Week, LaFleur pop-up in Malibu where Jay-Z and Kanye were both there, Call Me If You Get Lost live in Brooklyn, and what I deem the end of this era, which is the estate sale. I loved the estate sale. I can't remember anyone ever releasing a deluxe album exactly 2 years. It was exactly 2 years. He released it on June 25th, which is the same day the first album was dropped. I think that's cool. I can't remember that ever happening, and I knew I was super excited when the songs came out. I think it was a bit of a surprise. He didn't tease really anything. I think all the songs were great. For me, Sorry Not Sorry, that last song on the estate sale, is maybe the best song on the whole project, including the original album. I think I've never heard a song like Sorry Not Sorry. I've never seen a video like Sorry Not Sorry. If you guys haven't watched the video, stop this. I don't care about viewer retention. I don't care about the algorithm. You need to watch the Sorry Not Sorry video. Okay. So I'm assuming you've all watched it now. In this video, it's the opening of like a theater or some type of play where it's every version of himself based on his album. So you see the Flower Boy white shirt, Sunflowers. You see the Bastard crazy mask and like the red and the blue. Even in the background, you see Igor like kind of hiding behind the Call Me If You Get Lost version of Tyler. And then to the left of him is Tyler just shirtless. And that's a version of him that we're not familiar with. This is a new Tyler. That's who starts rapping. He raps the first verse, and then he disappears. And then the other versions each start picking up little lines. And as they're picking up the lines, people are disappearing, getting dragged out, thrown around. You don't really know what's happening the first time you watch it until you watch it again. But you get to the end, and it's that crazy run that he does of himself, like camera shaking, dun, ba, 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 trauma, dun, dun, dun. And then it cuts. And it lands on the shirtless version of himself basically punching Call Me If You Get Lost Tyler to death. And for me, he did it again. It's like, what is he going to do next after this? What is he going to do after that video? It's like this version of himself that we've never met before, that is not connected to any of the older projects. I don't know. I just felt it was very cool. I felt like it was the perfect end to this Call Me If You Get Lost era.
Cheese room.
You have a cheese room?
Yeah. You want to try it?
Guys, don't forget we have a concert.
I took some notes here, and as I was writing them down, I was wondering why this album is my favorite album ever. It was completely unique and also successful. No one had done something like this. No one had done a deluxe album 2 years later. He made luggage, $1,800 luggage. Like most artists, it's the single, you put the name of the single on a shirt and then it's there. He made like luggage, perfume, all this stuff, created a world. He created a place that people go and they listen to it in their heads. When I think about it, I don't know if I'll ever be able to create a product like Call Me If You Get Lost, create something all-encompassing. Like I don't even wear, I have this, I don't even wear jewelry. Like I got to do the fashion thing, and there's so many different layers to what he did that instead of like making me feel down about it, I get excited. Like someone did that. That's why it's my favorite. Alongside the fact that every album is a hit, there's no misses. On the original iteration of the album, there's no misses in my opinion. 2 years later, and I feel stronger about the album than I did 2 years ago when I first listened to it. And there's very few things in my lifetime that have come out where that is the case. That's why Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator, is my favorite album ever. I'm going to be doing more videos like this, just me talking about things that I'm thinking about, you know. Hoping to get one up every week. Subscribe if you want more. There it is. Buy Birch merch too. I'll put the link up right now. Enjoy your week, and I'm just going to leave you with a little screenshot of a conversation between Pharrell and Tyler and show you why I'm waiting again. Bye-bye.
Listen to this shit.